Long ago, in the great kingdom of Amandi, the people lived between the vast plains and dense forest. This land was harsh, yet beautiful, filled with mighty rivers and dangerous beasts. The kingdom was ruled by Chief Abendi, a wise and feared leader, and under him were brave hunters who brought food and safety to their people. Among them was Akin, a skilled tracker and hunter. He knew the land like no other, his instincts sharp, his connection to the earth deep. Akin's son, Chidi, was his pride, and together, they were an unstoppable duo, respected and loved by their people. But the land was not just filled with animals and hunters. Other tribes, fierce and ruthless, roamed the borders. They attacked, plundered, and killed without mercy. The hunters of Amandi often had to fend off these invaders, protecting their families and their land. Akin had seen many battles, survived countless scars, but it was on one fateful hunt that his true trial began. It was the dry season when the rivers shrank and the animals grew desperate. Chief Abendi sent his best men, Akin, his son Chidi, and a group of skilled hunters, deep into the wild to gather food and defend their borders. With them was Ajoni, a man of smooth words and even smoother tricks, but deep inside, he harbored jealousy toward Akin. Ajoni was ambitious, always dreaming of more power, but he was not the warrior Akin was. Though they had fought side by side many times, a darkness lay within Ajoni, waiting for the right moment to strike. The hunters journeyed far, their footsteps silent on the dry earth. For days, they tracked a herd of gazelles, navigating through thorny bushes and the shadow trees. But as they reached the great river, a mighty spirit of the wilderness greeted them, Dengolo, a great lion, old and wise, but still as fierce as the burning sun. It was said that this lion was touched by the ancestors themselves, a guardian of the wild, and whoever crossed its path would be tested by fate. Akin, ever cautious, moved carefully, but Dengolo was swift, its golden eyes glowing in the dusk. The beast struck with fury, knocking Akin to the ground, and a terrible fight ensued. The lion's claws tore into Akin's flesh, ripping deep wounds into his body, but Akin fought back with the strength of 10 men. Blood soaked the earth as the lion's roars echoed through the trees. When the dust settled, Akin lay motionless, his body broken and scarred, but still alive. The lion, too, was defeated, its life taken by Akin's hands. But while Akin clung to life, Ajoni saw his opportunity. His heart, long poisoned by envy, seized the moment. Akin is finished, Ajoni declared, his eyes gleaming. He is as good as dead. We cannot carry him. He will slow us down. We must leave him here, let the land take him. Chidi, Akin's son, protested, tears welling in his eyes. We cannot leave him, father is still alive. I will stay with him. But Ajoni's words were smooth, like the slithering of a snake. If we stay, we will all die. The others need us back at the village. Your father would want you to survive. Chidi, torn between love for his father and the need to protect his people, reluctantly agreed, and with heavy hearts, they left Akin behind, thinking he would never rise again. But as they turned their backs, Ajoni's true nature revealed itself. In the silence of the forest, he plunged his spear into Chidi's back, ending his life in cold blood. He would return to the village with a story of a heroic death, taking all the glory for himself. But the spirits of the ancestors were watching, and they had other plans for Akin. As the night fell and the moon rose high in the sky, Akin's broken body lay still, but his spirit was not ready to depart. The spirits whispered to him, their voices carried by the wind, urging him to rise. Your time has not come, they said. Your son's soul cries for justice. Akin, fueled by the pain of his wounds and the grief of losing his son, found strength in the depths of his soul. His body was torn, his leg shattered, his chest a map of scars from the lion's claws, but his heart beat strong with vengeance. Slowly, agonizingly, he pulled himself across the earth, through the thorns and rocks, surviving on the land itself, eating roots, drinking from the dew, and pushing forward by sheer will. Days turned into nights, and still Akin crawled. His wounds festered, his vision blurred, but the memory of Chidi's death fueled him. He would not rest until Ajani paid for his betrayal. The forest itself seemed to test him, rains poured, winds howled, and dangerous beasts prowled nearby, but Akin moved forward, one painful step at a time. Along his journey, Akin met other wanderers of the wilderness. An old healer, who lived alone by a sacred baobab tree, found him near death. She nursed him with herbs and ancient remedies, whispering to him the secrets of the earth. "You carry the weight of vengeance on your shoulders," she said. "But be warned, the spirits will not allow you to walk both the path of justice and the path of hatred. You must choose." Akin's face, lined with suffering, remained firm. "I walk the path of a father. I will bring balance, no matter the cost." As Akin grew stronger, rumors began to spread in the village. The warriors whispered of a shadow in the wild, a man thought dead, who was moving through the land with the spirits at his side. Ajani, now basking in his false glory, was troubled by the whispers, but he dismissed them as tales of old women and children. But one fateful day, as Ajani led a new hunt near the edge of the forest, he felt the cold gaze of someone watching him. From the shadows, Akin emerged, no longer the broken man he once was. He stood tall, though his body still bore the marks of his brutal journey. His eyes were filled with the fury of the ancestors, and his spear glinted in the fading sunlight. Ajani's heart froze with terror. "It cannot be," he stammered, his voice shaking. "You were dead. I saw you fall." "You saw what you wanted to see," Akin replied, his voice low and deadly. "But I am not a man who can be killed by treachery. I am not here for myself, Ajani. I am here for my son, and for justice." What followed was a battle unlike any other. Ajani, though skilled, was no match for Akin's fury. The land itself seemed to rise against him, the ground shifting beneath his feet, the trees whispering curses in the wind. Akin fought with the strength of a father wronged, and with each strike of his spear, he drew closer to his vengeance. Ajani, desperate, tried to flee, but the wilderness had already turned against him. His foot caught in the roots of a great tree, and as he fell, Akin stood over him, his spear raised high. "Your lies end here," Akin said, his voice cold. "The ancestors have judged you." With a single strike, Ajani's fate was sealed, his life taken by the man he had betrayed. The spirits of the forest, watching from the shadows, fell silent, for balance had been restored. Akin, now a man who had faced death and returned, walked back to the village not as a hunter, but as a legend. The people, who had once believed in Ajani's lies, bowed their heads in shame, for they knew now that they had been wrong. Akin, though scarred and broken, was stronger than ever. He had endured the wrath of the wilderness, the betrayal of a friend, and the loss of his son, yet he stood tall. The story of Akin, the revenant, would be told for generations, a tale of vengeance, survival, and the power of a father's love. It was a story that reminded the people that no matter how deep the pain, no matter how dark the path, the spirit of a true warrior could never be broken.